Hi, my name is Katie Lawson, and I'm one of the curators for the Toronto Biennial of Art. Candace Hopkins, Tyrone Bastian, and myself have been the curatorial team for both the inaugural 2019 and 2022 editions. In 2019, our exhibition was titled The Shoreline Dilemma, and in 2022, we continue to explore and deepen some of those same themes with the exhibition What Water Knows, the Land Remembers. The exhibition is spread out across the city in 9 different venues, and today we're at the Small Arms Inspection Building, which is just across the border into Mississauga. What Water Knows, the Land Remembers explores notions of relationality and kinship, not just between people, but between people and their environments, between people and the material culture of their lives, and between people and all of the more than humans that we share this land with. We are also drawing a great deal of inspiration from the context of Toronto itself, looking at how the land and the water have been shaped and reshaped by forces both geologic and human over decades in the recent past or over millennia, looking much further back still. I am standing inside of an installation by Daria Akai, a Vancouver-based Turkish artist whose new commission, Queer Dowry, is a multimedia installation. Behind me, you see laundry lines where the contents of Daria's imagined dowry are hung. The cultural practice of having a dowry and sharing that dowry in the creation of a new family is a way in which material culture gets passed down through generations. And particularly with the Turkish culture, textiles carry an incredible importance and are a way in which stories are passed down, iconography persists across generations. However, the dowry comes out of an institution which is heteronormative, and Daria, as a queer trans artist, is questioning this cultural practice and wondering how it could be queered. Daria commonly works with found materials, and there is this vibrant blue cart that is modeled after the kinds of cart that would be common in a Turkish market. And in addition to cotton and dried flowers, there is also this large sack of wheat seeds, and wheat being an incredibly significant plant in both a cultural sense, in a culinary sense, in a very expanded sense in the Turkish culture. And Daria has left this bag of seeds as an offering for the community to take a bag of seeds home with them in order to plant wheat for themselves. What I really love about the inclusion of the wheat seeds is imagining generations moving through time, and what seeds do we want to carry into the coming season of our life. I am standing inside a new work by Eric Paul Riege called A Home for Her. Eric Paul Riege is a Dene artist who is based in New Mexico and works often in durational performance, but also with these textile-based installations. He makes regalia for himself that he wears during the performance, and textiles play a really key part of maintaining a connection to Dene cosmologies. This work was co-created with members of Eric Paul's family, bringing in women weavers from his extended family to make this work with him. And behind me, what you see are panels of suspended looms, which come to form a 2-scale model of Eric Paul's childhood home. For Eric Paul, the process of working with textiles, whether it be weaving or sewing, is a slow and meditative act. And so in that way, it is a practice that is not dissimilar from the durational performances. To celebrate the opening of the Biennial, Eric Paul was here to do one such durational performance and wore the regalia behind me that now remains here in the space for the duration of the exhibition. Much in the way that textiles contain traces of our personal histories and our pasts, structures too carry with them memories of those who have lived in them, moved through them. And in this work, I feel that Eric Paul is making a connection between these two aspects of our material lives that carry so much of our own personal histories. Behind me is the work of Augustus Serapinas, and this is 5 Sheds. This work had its origins on Fogo Island. In talking with a number of local fishermen and community members, Augustus learned that there was a structure, a kind of vernacular structure, that had been disassembled and reassembled a number of times from these salvaged materials. Augustus made a work which was titled 4 Sheds a number of years ago, and for the Toronto Biennial, it takes one final form. The shed was disassembled and made this time into a much more vertical structure, calling to mind the form of a lighthouse. Augustus is an artist from Lithuania, and as a means of producing this work, collaborated with Sawmill Sid, whose lot we are standing on right now. Sawmill Sid has an operation out behind the Small Arms Inspection Building where he works with a process of carbon capture, where he takes trees that have been felled around the city and he works to plane them and to sell them so that that wood becomes a part of structures or pieces of furniture that have a much longer lifespan and contain that carbon within them. At the top of the lighthouse, rather than a light per se, for the opening of the Biennial, there was a cod smoker or a fish smoker. Rather than to shine a light for the purposes of navigation, the gentle embers of the fish smoker allowed Augustus to smoke cod and to serve it at our opening party with the artists who were part of the Biennial.